Complete dominance is one of the types of dominance that we've been working with so far. This is when one dominant allele is present and one recessive allele present. If the dominant allele is present, that will be the trait that is expressed. So for example, if we're talking about red and white, red would be represented by a capital R and white would be represented by a lowercase r. So our possible genotypes here would be, if you were red, you could be homozygous dominant with two big R's, or heterozygous with a big R and a little r. And for white, you would be homozygous recessive with two little r's. And here's a Punnett square to show what a complete dominance problem would look like. There are other types of dominance though. The second type of dominance is incomplete dominance. This is when neither allele is dominant. So if the two alleles are present in an organism, the resulting phenotype will be a blend of the two traits. So for example, if our alleles that we're talking about are for red and white, red would be represented by a lowercase r, and white would be represented by a lowercase w. Our possible genotypes now become for red to be lowercase r, white would be lowercase w, and pink would be lowercase r and w. Remember, incomplete dominance is a blending of different phenotypes. So when red and white are mixed together, you get a pink phenotype. You could also write this WR or RW. They mean the same thing. And here's a Punnett square to show what an incomplete dominance problem would look like. We're crossing a pink individual, R, little r, W, and little r, little w. And our resulting offspring, we have 25% chance of being red, 25% chance of being white, and 50% chance of being pink. The third type of dominance is codominance. This is when both alleles are dominant. So if the two alleles are present at the same time, then both would be expressed at the same time. A way to think about this would be a black and white cow. So for example, if our alleles that we're talking about are for red and white, for red it would be a capital R, and for white it would be a capital W. Our resulting genotypes for these, to be red you would have to be homozygous dominant, big R, big R. To be white you would have to be homozygous dominant, big W, and to be red and white, or to show both colors, you would have to be a big R and a big W. So our Punnett square here is showing crossing a red and white organism with another red and white organism. Here we have a 25% chance of being red, 25% chance of being white, and 50% chance of being red and white. It's important with these types of dominances that you realize when you're using different letters and when you're using capital and lowercase letters. Complete dominance always uses the same letter. Incomplete dominance will always use two different letters, both lowercase. And codominance will use two different letters, both uppercase.